Welcome to the show. Matt Miller with you. Well, it is a pure set of coincidences that have ended up making this week's episode continuing the theme of Vic's Star Trek Continues sets. Today's guest has wasted no time in getting on to Stage 9 productions and getting some fan films made and released. Well, his name is Gary Davis. He's joining me via Skype from his home office today. Gary, thanks so much for your time.
Yes, thank you for having me.
Now, I didn't mean to keep talking about Vic's sets, but I caught up with him last week in Sydney, and I'm catching up with you now as well. And you've been on those sets and you've been filming.
Yes, those sets are amazing down there.
So what was it like? You got in just weeks after Ray took over the custodianship of the studio, as it were, and I believe you're the first production to come out of it.
Yeah, we were really shocked and surprised that we were able to get in there so quickly. You know, Ray had to get permission to be able to film and release things from the studio, and he got the A-OK, and we got on the schedule. We're down there in May, which is still very hot in Georgia, but we had a great time. And
you've released 2 vignettes. Tell us a little bit about them.
Yeah, we did 2. The first one was called Reality Check, and that was going to be my homage to fan film producers. So this was a little bit different, where we bounced back and forth between the Star Trek universe and the real universe, and got to show some people that work behind the camera, and just had a little bit of fun with it. And then we had our own resident Q, who was responsible for bouncing us back and forth.
The cheeky, mischievous, is he a relation of Trelane, given where you are in the Star Trek timeline?
It's always been theorized that Trelane was a Q, but yeah, so I got a very talented actor, John Sims, to be our Q, and he played 2 parts because, you know, Q's omnipotent. He could do anything.
Absolutely.
And John just brought so much to the part. We were really happy to have him.
And the second vignette is a very special one to you. I believe that there was a very special guest star performing as the first deaf communications officer in Starfleet.
Right. Yeah, my wife, Tracy, you know, she's deaf, and she has been in several of our little productions. And, you know, Tracy can speak, and but she still has trouble pronouncing things. So we always tried to limit her lines to words that she could pronounce. But for this, I just decided just go the other way completely. I said, we're just going to make your character deaf. And then you can sign your lines, and your universal translator would translate all those lines. I think it came out really perfect, because we wanted to demonstrate, just like in the real world, people are people, hearing or deaf. And, you know, it doesn't stop someone from doing something, you know, just because they're hearing impaired. You know, it hasn't stopped my wife. You know, she went to college, you know, she has a degree in education. You know, she worked for the government for several years, and, you know, she raised two great boys who work for me, matter of fact. Now my stepsons work for me, so she raised those 2 boys. So being deaf didn't stop her from doing anything. So I wanted her character on Dominion to be the same. So, you know, just because you're deaf doesn't mean you can't do that job. And then we demonstrated how the universal translator could translate, you know, what she's hearing on her glasses, as well as closed caption. And sign language is just a beautiful language. So I was just really honored and proud to have her be able to be on the show in that capacity.
It's a really fascinating idea, and I was actually in a first aid course today. For the first time, I was actually working with someone who was deaf, and he had translators with him. But the biggest thing that I realised, and the biggest thing that we were asked to do, was to be normal. They are normal people that want to contribute to society, and here she is in a Star Trek fan film, being on the bridge and being that integral part of the senior staff. So kudos to you, sir.
Oh, great. Yeah, matter of fact, I think she was the most relaxed of us, all the actors, because, you know, all I did was just tell her what lines to do, and she just signed them so quickly. And then we tried to use a little bit of the inside jokes that we've had throughout our relationship the signing with an accent. That's a joke that I use with her friends, and they just think that's hilarious. And then asking her out for coffee. That's how we met. We met online, and I asked her out for coffee, and there was a long pause, and then she goes, "Well, there's a problem." And I go, "What problem?" And she says, "I'm deaf." And I go, "I don't care. I want to meet." And we met, and she could read my lips, and it was all, I want to say downhill from there, but it was all great from there because I knew that she was the woman I wanted to spend the rest of my life with.
Gary, that's beautiful and amazing, and I'm trying to hold it all together. Public displays of affection, but I love it. So is she going to be a part of the crew in future episodes? Or are there future episodes?
Oh gosh, yes. We're going to be going down again in January or February of next year to film another, I don't want to say episode, they're not episodes, just productions. The stories are totally apart from each other. Another production, I think we have another short, because we need to get out of space dock. All of our productions centered around us being in space dock, getting ready to go. So we have to shoot something to get us out into space, and then we want to shoot something that's in space and having an adventure. So we want to have Tracy be our regular communications officer. We touted her this time as the new beta shift officer, but I think she's going to get a promotion because she did great. The cast loves her. I got to be careful. They like her more than they like me. So they may promote her to captain. I got to be careful.
Well, then you'll be in trouble. But these are the things that happen when you mix family and play.
That's right. That's right.
Remind us again, Gary. Remind us again of the episode titles.
Reality Check was our back and forth episode between Star Trek and reality, and then Silent Acknowledgement was our Lieutenant Tompkins episode, where she is our deaf communications officer. Fantastic.
Well, there are links to those in the video description below, guys. Check them out. Gary, thanks so much for your time again today.
Great. I was happy to be here and hope to come back again in January. It was great actually having something to talk about instead of something we're planning. So I'm really thankful for this opportunity.
Looking forward to it, Gary. Thank you.
Thank you.